love me. You really love me. Ha! Gay!
What's up, Space Pirates? This is your Admiral, the atypical a-hole Dr. Disaster, and a few weeks back, when it was announced that Dragon Age the Veilguard had won the Game of the Year award at the Gayming Awards 2025, and no, that's not me being derogatory, that's the actual name of this award show, the Gayming Awards. But when they won that Game of the Year award, it was perfectly emblematic of what they had been attempting to do with this game.
They're on to me!
At one point, Dragon Age was one of the premier RPG franchises in the gaming industry, cranking out 3 pretty well-liked games in the span of 5 years with the original 3 games. But of course, as anyone with functional eyes, ears, and brains could tell within moments, Dragon Age the Veilguard, when that came out, it was chock full of LGBT content that they were trying to push under the guise of the Dragon Age skin suit.
Quick, think about us having sex.
I'm fine, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
For cripe's sake, the director of this turd of a game was a self-described queerosexual gendermancer, and this person was clearly pushing the ideologies that you would expect to be associated with that title into the game. With everything that we learned about the game, from the top surgery scars to the non-binary canary, and everything in between, gamers processed that information, took a look at the makers of this game and said,
"Suit yourself, queer."
Of course, the Gayming Awards think that the Veilguard is just awesome, but that goes to show you that they aren't interested in fun games so much as promoting anything that agrees with their lifestyle. But clearly this vocal minority of gamers does not have much clout, because despite the Dragon Age name, this game has flopped big time. They have had to give it away on PlayStation Plus and on Game Pass. Still nobody was playing it, and now the game is literally being given away on Amazon, whether you ask for it or not. And the funny thing is that people still aren't playing this game.
I want you guys to like me, and you look at me like I'm a freak.
That's because you're stupid.
Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, I've started uploading content onto Rumble, so make sure to follow me over there, and don't forget to follow me over on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster 1. I keep a list of video games lousy with wokeness pinned to the account at all times for your reference. Dragon Age the Veilguard is of course on that list, and in fact, it's so damned woke, I ought to put it on there twice. But anyhow, we are going to look at this news that Dragon Age is now going free to play, so to speak, and still nobody is touching it. These days, over on Steam, Dragon Age the Veilguard is fortunate to even break 1,000 concurrent players. It peaked at about 89,000 back on Halloween when it came out, and when it hit the top spot on the sales charts for Steam, I remember all those game journalists who were celebrating and mocking gamers because they thought that the chuds had been owned. Game journal Jason Schreier mocked us, saying, "Go woke, go broke, top the charts." But I'm very proud of how we all responded to that situation, sticking to our guns and pointing out that there was no real competition for the Veilguard when it released, so it was no shock at all to see the game hit the top spot at release. And we were eventually proven correct, as everyone in the mainstream media was forced to admit the game had flopped, and Jason Schreier eventually had to delete that tweet. But let's read about this game's major failure and the recent news news surrounding that failure from this website, That Park Place. They start the article off by giving us a rundown of how successful the Dragon Age franchise has been in the past, and then they talk about how poorly the Veilguard was received. We are going to skip down to here though, where it says, how bad is it? 10 months after launch, the game has already been given away on PlayStation Plus, bundled into Xbox Game Pass through EA Play, and now Amazon Australia is literally handing it out for free with over 1,000 different purchases, and yet still practically no one is playing it. Between August 20th and September 2nd, Amazon Australia launched a promotion where anyone buying qualifying items, everything from routers to controllers, would receive a free copy of Dragon Age the Veilguard. According to reports, more than 1,000 separate items triggered the freebie. Imagine buying a printer or a kitchen appliance and finding this bonus video game tossed into your order. Far from being a celebration, it comes across as a digital clearance bin. To hell with that. It doesn't come off as a clearance bin item to me. If someone sent that game to me without asking, I'd think of it as being akin to friggin' anthrax getting mailed to me. I've never even touched the case of a copy of Dragon Age the Veilguard, and I am definitely interested in keeping my skin clear of whatever STDs that bloody thing is carrying. If someone sent it to me, I'd probably handle the thing with tongs. But anyways, back to the article. It says that calling it a digital clearance bin is not an exaggeration. Amazon's own fine print described the promotion as an effort to unload inventory, a sign the warehouses are overflowing with unsold stock. For a Dragon Age title once considered a guaranteed hit, that alone is humiliating. And then, if we scroll down a ways in the article, it talks about why they're doing this, and it's the sort of conversation we have talked about here for a while. So, why all the giveaways? The answer is simple. Optics. When a game hits Game Pass or PS Plus, publishers trumpet millions of downloads as proof of success. What they don't admit is that these are not sales, they're downloads bundled into existing subscription numbers. It looks good to shareholders, but it doesn't fully hide the truth. Veilguard failed to resonate with players, and no amount of free can disguise that reality. This was the strategy that Ubisoft, as you may remember, tried to use with Assassin's Creed Shadows. They refused to show us how many people had actually purchased their game. Titles like Monster Hunter Wilds, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Stalker 2, the developers of those games all proudly announced how many millions of copies they had sold in just a matter of days. But Assassin's Creed Shadows, which was just as woke as the Veilguard, they would only talk about their player count, choosing to hide the truth in order to project good optics. But here are the real optics for the Veilguard. This is a head-to-head comparison between the Veilguard and Clair Obscur Expedition 33, the AA title which came out of nowhere earlier this year and blew everyone's socks off. Dragon Age was made by BioWare with several hundred devs working on it, while Clair was made by Sandfall Interactive, a new studio with around 30 devs. The budget for Dragon Age was around $200 million, while the budget for Clair was about 10 times less at around $20 million. It took 10 years to make the Veilguard versus 5 years for Clair Obscur. And then here are the bottom line numbers down at the bottom of this. Dragon Age the Veilguard announced that they had hit 1.5 million players in 2 months, which of course includes people with free copies of the game or people trying it out on a subscription service. Meanwhile, Clair Obscur sold 1 million copies in a few days and has now sold multiple millions. Those are the real optics for the Veilguard, no matter how they try to hide it. That being said, ultimately, the people that BioWare made Dragon Age the Veilguard for really liked that game. After all, the game did win the Game of the Year at the Gayming Awards. But the problem is that awards are not the same thing as money, so trying to appeal to a small segment of the gaming population is not a very good idea when the best you can hope for is some kind of an award from that group. Doing what Claire Obscure did and just making something that pretty much anyone can appreciate seems like the way to go. Because here's the thing, not only did Claire Obscure make their developers an insane amount of money, but they are also damn near a lock to be one of the finalists for the Game of the Year award at every legitimate award show this year. You know, the real ones, the real award shows, which don't just pander to a niche audience. I hope BioWare is feeling really stupid right about now. But I'm gonna leave it there. Drop your contempt for BioWare and the Veilguard into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.